Good evening. We have two readings for tonight, Wednesday night, and Easter. Isaiah and John again. Two great books. Again, I love Isaiah, and John's probably my favorite gospel. I love all of the Bible, of course, but there's some that really have beautiful passages and truths that resonate with us for whatever reason. Isaiah. Um, One of the more harder to trace ones sometimes, I think, what's happening when, where, and in what way. But again, God will ordain peace for us, for Israel. He's wrought all our works in us. Is that good? Is that bad? um, Here's something that we can understand. O Lord our God, other lords beside thee have had dominion over us, but thee only will we make mention of thy name. But by thee only will we make mention of thy name. They are dead, they shall not live. They are deceased, they shall not rise. Therefore thou hast visited and destroyed them, made all their memory to perish. So, bad lords. Is this the other nations that conquered Israel? Are these the bad leaders of Israel? The false idols that Israel would follow, Judah would follow, and these false gods, these idols having dominion over us. Is it more spiritual in that way as well? And then still, the point is, God destroys them. He kills them. They're dead. They've been deceased. They don't rise. And then there's this blessing, right? The Lord has increased the nation. He's increased the nation. And he's been glorified by that. He removed it far unto all the ends of the earth. So an expansion of this kingdom, or is it talking about the exile, right? All the ends of the earth, the diaspora. But I really think, it can be both. With this point of the spread of the kingdom that we see, particularly in Acts, but in all of church history. The Lord, in trouble have they visited thee. They poured out a prayer when thy chastening was upon them. This is God's people, right? Like as a woman with trial, the draweth near the time for adversity is in pain. So have we been in thy sight, right? A time is coming. It's painful and there's suffering, but there will be something joyful. A man-child brought forth. Again, Jesus. and what he accomplishes. Thy dead men shall live, together with my dead body shall they arise. So looking again to the resurrection of the saints. Awake and sing, ye that dwell in dust. That's the dead. For thy dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead. So again, looking to the wider resurrection. John 20:19-23. Disciples are scared. They were hidden where the doors are shut, fearing the Jews, the same people that killed Jesus, right? These guys are Jewish too, but it's talking about the leadership and the groups and systems of the time that opposed Jesus when it says that. Jesus comes, stands in their midst, so he's not held back by locked, shut doors. He says he gives his peace unto you. And then showing him his hands and his side, assuming there's scars there, scars of his victory. Interesting. Well, we have similar scars for our victorious bearing of witness to Jesus Christ, almost as trophies or medals in our spiritual warfare. Interesting thought. Then were the disciples glad when they saw the Lord? They were, right? They thought, they see the risen Lord, they love him, but they're still fearful, right? There's all this opposition. And then again, he gives peace unto you, right? So like twice his peace, God's peace. As my Father sent me, even so send I you. And so as he said this, he breathes on them. He says to them, receive the Holy Ghost. So he gives them the Holy Ghost. Whoever sins you are remitted, and whosoever sins you retain, they are retained. I think that's looking particularly to pastoral apostolic ministry, and again, retention of sin. Versus being freed of sin on the gospel and the response to the gospel and his promises, given and entrusted to the church. in receiving in that way. And this is before Pentecost, before the general pouring out of the Holy Ghost. And that is showing kind of what's going on in churchly life. And we do this with the absolutions and others in terms of church discipline as well. So absolution versus church discipline, excommunication, both of those are tied. And I think it actually finds its origins in this passage. But with that, I'll leave you all. Good night. Rest in the assurance of Christ's peace toward you when you are in him.